Welcome to Haunted Road Trip Show, where paranormal history is dying to be heard. I'm Tracy St. Croi, psychic, medium, and your guide through the strange, the haunted, and the unexplained. Join us in these spirited conversations with my fellow mystical folk, sharing chilling stories that pull back the veil on the paranormal world in ways you may have never experienced before. So buckle up, things are about to get spooky. Hello, 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 and welcome back to Haunted Road Trip Show podcast. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Today for y'all, I have Eli back again, Eli Gomez, who is a fantastic astrologer. He is a student of life and everything else. You talk to him, you would think he is way wiser beyond his years. And in fact, he is. He is a lover of all things a little bit creepy and spooky. And we got him here on the show to talk today. Hi, Eli. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Oh, we're doing pretty good over here. You had a little technical difficulties with the computer, huh?
You could say that, and the gate code and all the other things. Making my way in here.
Are spirits messing with you?
Uh, you could say that. You could say that. I don't know. Maybe in a joking way. Yeah.
Are they having fun picking on you?
Yeah. It's kind of a thing, but hey, it's
It,
so much fun though because you can really have a lot of fun poking back too as well, being like. Hey, like I mess with you, you can mess with me. It's just kind of fun. Like you can just have like little fun banter.
you definitely can. And I talk to a lot of people about that is, make it playful, especially with your loved ones in spirit, is start to kind of play little games with them back and forth.
Yeah.
Like when, I see signs that my parents send me, I always like, I got you. I saw that. You thought you were going to be sneaky and I wasn't going to see that, but I saw that. I
Oh
saw
yeah. All the
it,
time.
right? And it becomes like a fun little friendly game, and that's I don't know, to me it's more of a comfort that there is life after this physical life, which I've always thoroughly believed in. Ooh, I got the yawns coming. What the heck, that came out of nowhere. And uh, also too, I think it's just kind of like that physics mind blowing thing to know, like, yeah, we're here in the physical world, but our loved ones are in the spirit world, and we know that they're there, but sometimes we don't get to see them with the naked eye, and it's a whole, rabbit hole.
Oh yeah.
But I love those rabbit holes.
Oh, absolutely. One of my favorite things to do is, at least these are like little games that I play with loved ones who have crossed over, is I grew up really loving numbers. And actually, I was just Facebook messaging one of my preschool teachers that I had. And I told her, I was like, yeah, I was that kid who would just kind of sit in the corner and play with number puzzles and a calculator. And I was completely content and happy doing exactly that. And even still to this day, I still love working with numbers. And therefore, that's kind of the way that spirit, communicates with me the most. And so I always tell people, hey, when you look at license plates and you see maybe your birthday in it, or you see your birth time, because you combine numbers and astrology and you get those too. And then sometimes you'll see other people's birthdays or birth times that might be significant to you, or there's maybe you're really missing your great grandmother one day and you remember she was born on February 29th, which was a leap day, and you start kind of looking around, you keep seeing 229 everywhere.
I love it. I never thought about the birth time.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Birth times typically are something that I actually didn't really start picking up on as signs until I really started getting into astrology a couple years ago. That was when I really started noticing the birth times everywhere. But birthdays are usually more obvious because spirit is going to communicate with you in the ways that mean the most to you. So for me, because I'm working with a lot of birthdays and birth times, those
Exactly.
are the ways that that spirit tends to work and communicate to me the most. But obviously, it wouldn't be any sort of useful communication if they chose any other method that I may not be completely conscious or aware of yet. It's like trying to communicate to someone in a completely different language that they're not used to speaking.
Yeah.
And so that's the one thing I really love about working with spirit is that you're able to communicate with them in ways that are meaningful for you as the perceiver and the receiver, and also for them. And it kind of creates that common space where you can connect.
Yeah. It really does. Are you sure you haven't taken mediumship development classes?
I have taken some with you actually.
Oh wow, because you're really good. You're a really good teacher. No wonder you love astrology and will be teaching astrology soon enough.
Yeah.
On
I plan
there.
on doing a lot more of that. Maybe not this year, but probably next year. Because this year I'm actually really um I'm really getting a whole lot of readings under my belt. Last year, I did a lot of just kind of experimenting around. I tried some classes, I tried some readings, I tried some certain types of readings I wouldn't have ever done before, and then I also tried some ones that are the kind of just the standard, your typical natal chart transits, things of that nature. I um I really have kind of learned what I want to stick with, what routes I really want to go down,
Yeah.
and kind of how I want to go about doing it. I've learned what techniques work, what ones I would rather not use again, um which ones I really want to stick with. And I think that right now I'm really in the time where now that I've experimented with a lot of those things last year, I'm now working on honing each of those specific things I want to hone
Right.
on this year for next year to be more of where I offer a whole lot more stuff out into the public.
I absolutely love that because just like some people find talking to the dead a little bit weird, I find it um another type of synchronizing with spirit with astrology. I think that there's also a mindset and a flow that has to be involved with the same process, almost similar processes in the brain might be going on where we have to kind of make room for new information to come to us
Oh,
about
for sure.
how we're interpreting something. Because I've always found numbers very soothing as a child, and I think that's why I'm so good at getting numbers with mediumship, whether it's like ages, numbers of siblings, number of birth, all that kind of thing. Birth, you know, uh, what am I trying to say? What number were you when you were born? Right? Were you
Hmm.
the sixth child? Were you the ninth? Were you the first? What were you? On that, and I really find like you know, spirit is really infinite. And for those out there that might be a little bit new to mediumship, to astrology, to wondering what the heck is going on, I like to say just have that really big, curious, open mind. Because there is a power greater than yourself that wants to work for you, through you, is what I like to say, for you and through you, to get that spookalicious information out to everybody. Because I think astrology is a little bit spooky because here's why. And I love it. I'm not going to say that I don't love it. It's
No, I get
because
you.
there is so much truth in it, right? And there's so much timing and education behind it because it's like how many different generations had to observe these things
Oh yeah, it's one of the
to get it down to a
what people
science.
considered. Yeah, it was really one of the things that people considered to be one of the original sciences, which now obviously now with our modern understanding of science, we don't consider astrology a science.
Which is a
And
shame.
it is a discipline and a field of study though. And just as with any discipline and field of study, there's years and years and years and years and years of data and history and logic that kind of goes into creating what it is that we now know of astrology today. And it's so much fun to kind of go back and look at all of the different pieces of history, the literary works, um, people in power who have used astrology, and kind of
You know
see
that they're
how.
just talking about now, like some younger folks are just figuring out that Reagan had an astrologer.
Well, see, I just kind of always knew that. I was not shocked when I found that out originally, and quite frankly, I was like, well, I mean, good for him.
Do we know
Like,
who that person was?
yes, we do. It was Joan Quigley.
What was his name?
Her name, Joan Quigley.
Okay.
Yeah, she
How do
actually
we
has a
feel
book.
about her?
So I actually have a book of hers. Would I recommend it? Probably not for a beginner astrologer, but for someone who is very like
Seasoned.
interested in it already and might just want like a piece of history, yeah, I would definitely recommend it. But I got this book. I actually just had it sitting right here. That's what was so funny, which is why when you mentioned it, I was like, wow, I actually literally just had it sitting right here. Um, Astrology
I
for
must be
Adults.
psychic.
Oh, it's almost like you are, imagine that. And so I got this at a used bookstore because that's where you get the best astrology books, and honestly really the best any books, anything occult really is really best at a used bookstore, yard sales, estate sales.
Estate sales
um
are the best for those things. Do
yes,
you
for
know? Because
sure.
before you guys, before like true crime TV and paranormal TV was like big, hot, and heavy, and all we had was like maybe Lifetime and Unsolved Mysteries, there was a lot of like occult books and crime books. They
Yeah.
would sift through them. And so when you go to estate sales, don't pass up the book box.
Oh, never. Never, never, never. And kind of like how I was telling you before we started recording here, I was just at Dollar General because they had a really, really good 70% off sale on some frozen stuff. And I still didn't even pass up the book section, even though I know it's just a whole bunch of Tom Clancy and Nora Roberts. But you never know what kinds of gems you might find in there.
You never know what spooky type of gems you're gonna find around in there. And you know what? Speaking of estate sales, do you love estate sales or do you stay away from them?
I, as well as almost all of my friends, we flock to estate sales because we find the darndest and coolest little things there that we never thought that we ever needed until we showed up to that estate sale. And we're really into a lot of used things that have a little bit of history, and we like to kind of feel into it, have a little bit of fun with it, and also um,
Adding to the
sometimes
story.
it's also really interesting and fun to bring in someone else's, or that was what something that was once someone else's into your space and kind of feel, do I like this energy, do I not like this energy, is this person passing on something beneficial for me, or is this not, it's really interesting to see because I can go to an estate sale and I can look at something, I can be like, I need to stay the absolute hell away from that. And then
I
I can
don't know
also
what
pick
kind of
up on
shit
something.
is on that, but I ain't bringing it home.
Right, exactly, 100%. And then there's also some things where I'll go over there and I'll look and I'll be like, okay, actually, this looks pretty good. Like, and it feels good. I feel like there's some positive energy to this, and I'll bring it into my home, and
Yeah.
then it can be mine to then add to it. Like it's kind of a cool concept to me that you don't really get like when you're just shopping at Walmart or Home Goods
Yeah.
and you just find a piece of furniture there that's, kind of has no history to it. It's recently manufactured. Like there's something about having the substance and the history that I just absolutely love about things at estate sales. So that is where I'm going to leave my opinion on estate sales off at.
I love it because I like going to estate sales, and I will oftentimes tune in to the owners who were used
Oh,
to live in the
interesting.
house. and I will ask them, show me the things that you think I need to take care of for you. Show me the items, right? And I'll say, I'm
Hmm.
looking for this type of item. Do you have it? Or show me other items you think I need to take care of for you. And like, I came out of one guy's house with this huge portrait of Romeo and Juliet. This
Oh, wow.
gigantic portrait. Like, that's not just like my natural style, but I was like, okay. And then there was a perfect spot in my house for it.
Nice. It's almost like it
So
was actually calling you.
it was, and they, when I go to estate sales, it is kind of fun. It's like, show me what you got. And there are some things where I'm like, I'm not touching. I don't even think I'm gonna look at you again. You're just, I don't want to know what you are. So I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna about face go that way.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But every time I go to an estate sale, I do cleanse and clear myself, y'all. Like, when I get in the car, I got my Palo Santo, I'll burn that off, or I'll roll down the window or do something, because I'm like, there was a lot going on in that house. Because when you shake up the house for like an estate sale, a garage sale, or anything like that, you're literally shaking that energy everywhere. You're unearthing it. You're
Yeah.
bringing up old items and things like that. And then think about it. The family might have been in there, and all the emotions that go along with that, right? All the dramatics, all the everything still flying around there, right? So there's a lot of what I like to call energetic management in those places, but I still love to get like a piece of something. Like, I love those old ashtrays with the lighter in them. You know what I'm
Oh, I
talking
don't
about?
think I've seen those.
Yeah, they're old. They're usually like crystal or glass type of ashtrays, but it has like a butane lighter in it.
Oh,
Uh,
interesting.
it is. They are very, very interesting. So I like quirky, cool little things like that. But I'll tell you what. Some people freak out and think that they're gonna bring, something home from an estate sale, and they might.
I
You
mean, you
might.
might, yeah. But the thing is
It's
like
nice
I often tell
management.
people, don't worry about that though. Like if you love going to estates, whoa, let me start over. I'm like, it's just like whatever I'm trying to say is just not being said. So I always tell people like whenever you just like love going to estate sales, keep doing it. Like, it's so much fun. Have fun in the experience. Don't worry about whatever it is you're going to bring home because chances are, if it's not for you, it's not coming home with you anyway. So, don't worry about that. Nothing's going to attach to you. Nothing's going to, you know, give you bad luck. Now, if you are actively going and searching for something that is going to do those things, yeah, you're probably going to bring home something that's going to do that. But unless like if you're just wanting to go have a good time, have fun, maybe find a really cool looking item, or maybe, rehome something that was once somebody else's, and maybe you'll love it just as much as they did.
Take care of it.
When you approach it with that kind of energy, you're not going to bring home anything bad. It's
No.
all about the state of consciousness you're bringing into the exchange there. So don't worry about it if you're scared about bringing home bad juju or anything, because it's not going to happen if that's not your intention.
No, it's not going to happen, and it doesn't happen as often as people would like to say it.
Oh, for
I am
sure.
very cautious though. There is clothing. I'm very
Mm,
cautious about clothing. I won't
I would say so. Yeah.
I won't I'm very particular about that.
I'm the same way actually now that you think about it, or now you make me think about it. I'm very similar. Like I don't really like used clothing if I don't know where it's coming from. Now, if I know where it's coming from or who it's coming from, oh yeah, I have no issue with it. Like hand-me-downs, typically no issue because that's usually something like within the family or friends of family or people who are friends of
Right.
friends of like people who I have like some sort of like connection to somewhere along the line. But I have a very difficult time taking on used clothing as well. And I think part of it is because there's like a little bit of a germaphobe in me. Like I like clean things, and I don't know if this person was completely clean, or or the hygiene, like things that nature. I'm very reluctant in that sense, and I think that that might definitely not help the case with the energy that I bring into maybe shopping for used clothing. So I don't know. Maybe that's just a working theory. Like maybe it's just the fact that
No, no,
some of us like
I mean, I
yeah,
totally get it because I
yeah,
always think, well, just from like a spiritual thing about it, a way about choosing like other people's clothes. It's like I don't want to walk in somebody else's shoes because I know somebody else literally wore those shoes,
right,
right?
yeah.
Unless they're like some kick-ass like ruby slipper, memorabilia or something, but I won't like jackets and coats and things like that. I'm going to be very cautious. I would have to really tune into it before I would take a piece of clothing home, because I think
Yeah.
it's an intimate, it's an intimate wear, even if it is just a t-shirt or a jacket, right? Like, how do I know you didn't wear that jacket to the hospital when your mom died?
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, let me go ahead, or like like big furniture. Like, how did I know Grandpa didn't die in that couch? Right?
That is very true.
That I'm
And
always
that
like, did
actually
somebody die on here? Let me touch this.
yeah, I don't think I would ever be able to sit on that couch if I knew that.
Like, you want to take a nap on this couch? No, I
No,
don't.
absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Here, I have a coat of his you can wear. No.
And here's the thing, if you actually would be very willing, like if any of you listeners are willing to like sleep on a couch of that, props to you. Have at it. Be my guest. That's just not me.
No.
So yeah, let's just get that very clear.
No, there's something like, even me as a medium, I'm like, no, I don't. I'm okay with that. That, like, what other items you got in the house, darling? You got, like, you got some jewelry here. You got some diamond rings. What do you got? you got,
Right, yeah.
but yeah, I do love a good banging ass estate sale. They are a whole lot of fun. So don't deter yourself from going from there, but just have fun and know when you do on there. Now you live by one of the most haunted places, the Crescent Hotel.
I sure do.
I'm so jealous. Do you ever just get to rando drive by it and go like,
So
one day?
okay, so Eureka Springs is actually a little bit north of me. So
Okay.
I'm more in the Little Rock Metro in Arkansas. So the Little Rock Metro is like smack dab in the middle of the state.
Okay.
And Eureka Springs is going to be more towards Walmart's headquarters in Fayetteville, Springdale Rogers area in Northwest Arkansas. Um, so up there is a little bit out of my direction. I've never actually visited. I almost did in high school with a couple of friends, but we ended up falling through with some of those plans to take on something else. But I will say that it is definitely still on my bucket list of things to do, and I am looking forward to the day where I will be able to stay there.
Yes, because the Crescent Hotel is on my like top 10 I want to film at. And I don't know, think I think the owners are pretty open to having that.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I
they
want
are because I've actually talked with the owners.
uh-huh.
Whenever we were planning a trip up there,
Okay.
we did communicate with them and be like, "Hey, we're a whole bunch of high school kids, and we're in this club together, and we were thinking about doing like a retreat there. What's kind of things we need to know, like on the like just what to expect, as in like hospitality wise, not necessarily on the spirit side of things, but just more like the like what are pricings, like what are like what's breakfast looking like? What are places to eat around here? Just things of that nature. And they were more than happy to have us be interested in coming up there and everything. And they said we could take pictures and film. Just there are certain places that we might need to be a little bit more cautious of, and maybe ask some permission, especially like in more like intimate parts of the hotel itself, like where it might just be you and a couple of other people. Like obviously, ask for consent if you're taking pictures with somebody else, but
Right, right.
still, for the most part, like they're very open and honest with us,
I'll have to
and
give them a
I,
call when I'm ready to film up there. I would
I just had an
definitely.
idea.
Yeah, I mean that's on my top 10 places that I want to go and I want to film at, because I'm so entranced by that place. It was a I don't know if they called it a women's college back then, because it was in the early 1900s, late 1800s, 1900s. I don't know if they called it college or finishing school,
Hmm.
but it was that for women for a long time, so that they could
Yeah.
have good careers. And then the sinister doctor stepped in.
Oh
Good
yeah.
old sinister doctor. And they recently unearthed some of his things that he tried to hide. Were you aware of that?
I was aware of that actually. I do remember seeing some reports about how there are some things that have been found there that have been uncovered.
Yes.
And I think you actually might have been the one that sent me a couple of those.
They unearthed old, like, apothecary style bottles, and some of them, if I remember right, had human parts in them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. And he was messy too, because he just kept throwing them in the same hole. Like, he wasn't even digging different holes for different things. He just was digging like one big hole and then like dumping all these bottles into there.
Which kind of makes me wonder, like, that must be like a true cover up, because if it was somebody who was doing that as like a normal regular practice, you'd think there'd be a little bit more organization to it and less haphazardness. And this was kind of like, oh no, I need to like get out of here. Let me just like quickly, dump everything in this one section. That's kind of what that sounds like to me.
Yeah, he was very sociopathic, and he was just kind of like catch me if you can. Like, I dare you
Yeah.
type. And I've always just been enamored by the architecture of that building, the stories that have gone on there.
It's a
Just,
beautiful building.
yeah, just being able to commune there with the spirits, see how we can help, see how we can have a little bit of fun with them, maybe help them find, whatever it is. I don't know. I won't, I tell people I don't know what I don't know until I get there, right?
Yeah.
On that, because somebody asked me the other day about um the topic came up about paranormal investigators, and why do they get to know all the information about the place that they're investigating, but a psychic medium can't know anything? So why do they get to create a group bias based upon the stories that they know, but psychic mediums don't get to know anything and we have to go in there cold, whereas we could be helpful? So, do you think that paranormal investigators should go into a place cold and not know anything?
So this is me putting on my accounting brain on, because that's one of the things I'm going to school for. And part of accounting is it's everything is designed to be completely judgment free and free of bias. So you have a certain set of regulations and processes that you have to know how to do before you start actually accounting for transactions. I am going to take that same approach, or I would take that same approach if I were to be a paranormal investigator or develop my mediumship abilities or psychic abilities and go to a place that is allegedly haunted. I would 100% not want to go in with any stories or as much information that could potentially skew the results of what I would get in that experience. Because the whole point of having an experience is to experience. You don't
Yes,
want to bring in other bits of, maybe what could be true, what may not be true, just kind of like other noise. You don't really want to bring that in that could potentially taint the channel of that experience. And therefore, that could lead to potential confirmation bias, and that could also potentially lead
yes,
to a very noisy channel that you're not going to get the clearest answers that you might be searching for. Because what if you are going in and you're thinking, oh, this story of what's going on in this one haunted place is the same story I've heard for years and years and years from my family and my family's family and my
right,
friend's family. Everyone has all of these same stories. What if you're going in as a paranormal investigator and the information you pick up completely contradicts everything you ever thought you knew, but because you're going in with it thinking that it has to be this one way, you're thinking it's an evil spirit that's trying to come in and screw with you.
exactly.
And what if it's just somebody being like, hey, actually, no, yeah, it's just those stories were a little dramatized. Like it really all depends on the state of consciousness that you're bringing into the experience itself. And with having as little noise as possible is going to get you the clearest results.
Yep. That's exactly what I kind of feel is going into paranormal investigations. I think it's okay to know a little something because if you're in the paranormal world, you're going to know things. Like you're going to hear stories about places, you're going to see things online. People are going to say, "Oh my god, have you been here?" You're going to know little bits and pieces about a lot of different stories. It's kind of unavoidable, right? But I would love it for paranormal investigators, one, to take psychic mediumship development classes. Highly recommend, because like like in order for you to understand how I'm doing my job, I need you to understand how I'm doing my job, and me to understand how you're doing your job with your equipment too, right? It needs to be that two-way balance on it, and also to have a limited amount of story going in there,
Yeah.
and then using all of your senses to build that story. I think that we would have different outcomes. I think that we would have a lot more um understanding of spirit world versus like, oh, it's just an evil thing and it lives in the basement, right? Why don't you investigate that? Maybe that's not the evil thing you think it is. Maybe that's just the anger that somebody feels about the loss of their family, and it's become an egregore because so many people have said what it is. It's formed
Yeah.
itself and now it lives in the basement,
And
and
also,
that's what it does.
one thing that's important to mention about a lot of those stories that we hear about all of these haunted places are painted in such a way that grabs people's attention. And not everything that grabs people's attention is going to be 100% based in factual reality. Because at the end of the day, we are all human,
Yep.
and none of us, even those that may claim to be, sages on the stage or,
Pages
of the
on the
highest class, even everybody at some point experiences the experience of having someone say something, "Oh, did you hear?" And you're like, "What?" We all experience that at some point. But it is also our responsibility to get past the shock value
Yeah.
and to then go and explore for ourselves what it is that is actual substance. What is it that is
What's
past
here?
the
What's
face?
actually going on?
Exactly. And that is something that I think just by, reading a lot of the stories of a lot of haunted places on the internet, you're not really going to really be able to see unless you begin to kind of at least experience it to some degree yourself.
And that's what I'm talking about. People have to experience things, not experience them through somebody else's story, right?
Yes, I love that. That sent chills down my spine. Absolutely. Yeah, I can say it better myself. Yeah.
So, with that being said, and we're talking about haunted places and hauntings, you want to play a game?
Oh, always.
I know you are loving this episode, so come hang out with us on Patreon, where you'll get bonus content, behind the scenes access, exclusive discounts, and a spooky community that actually gets the love of your paranormal obsessions. So join us at hauntedroadtripshow.com/patron.
All right, you guys, it's time for Book It or Book It.
Yes, this is such a classic. I always love this game.
Okay, I have to get my fancy cursor. Here we go. The computer's far away from me. All right, through the power of sharing the screen, and we are going to share screen. Here we go. I troll the streets of Instagram, okay, to my favorite accounts. And I look at old haunted places, and we are going to decide. Can you see this? I know it might be super tiny on your phone.
I sure can. Oh, ooh, that's nice. There's now a zoom in feature I can use.
Oh, nice. Okay. Okay.
Ooh,
So,
Greensboro,
folks,
Pennsylvania.
that's right. We are in Greenboro, Pennsylvania, right? It's an old stone schoolhouse, is magnificent and for sale by owner only for $125,000. It's a 2-story cathedral top brick schoolhouse. Let me see, built in 1904 and functioning as an elementary school until 1961. Let's see, it's striking. It's blah 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 blah. You guys can go to here and read the listing on it. Has the pressed metal on the ceiling. All right, I think it's spooky enough, and I want to go in.
Yeah, I agree. I think this architecture just is absolutely beautiful, just at least on the outside, and it's really making me kind of really want to go in there and take a look around.
Yeah. I need to check it out anyway. Because from the outside, it could be a bank, it could be a jail, it could be a schoolhouse.
Okay, those boarded windows are starting to kind of make me feel a little bit.
Well, it's rambunctious kids or spirits. Okay,
Yeah.
Greenbow Greenboro Public School, 1904. It looks spooky. Oh my god!
Actually, that's kind of cute. Like with the little touch-ups, I think we could pull that off.
We could pull off some apartments, but this certainly is a little bit of a spooky style of staircase here.
Yeah, I can get that, but it's nothing that's like too spooky to where I'd run the opposite direction though.
Not too spooky just yet. But look at this. They have the original chalkboards,
Oh,
like
that's kind of cool actually.
boards on there. It doesn't seem all that spooky in the daylight, but I bet you at night, because this definitely feels like, even just kind of sensing into it, there's more going on here than meets the eye. I wouldn't be surprised if there's not like an older teacher who likes to hang out here. She was a brunette and liked to smoke a lot, is what I see like right away with this place.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Look at that. The ceiling, well, the walls are coming apart. We still got the original chalkboards. So if y'all don't know what chalkboards are, if you didn't go to school where there was chalkboards, come to this account and look at like what it actually was on there. They got the cute overlaying doors. It just feels like it actually feels like spirits come around from other places to come here. There's something familiar about this place that it attracts other spirits.
It
Wow.
kind of feels more like a museum versus a schoolhouse, to be honest with you.
It kind of does. It has that space because it's just so wide open. I
Yeah.
wonder if it has asbestos here, though.
Yeah, like that was the one thing I was picking up on here is like I just don't really think I would feel like physically safe here. Emotionally safe, I feel like I would feel emotionally safe here. Like it wouldn't make me like I think I could spend a night here and be completely fine, to be honest with you, just because I do believe, like you were saying, that there is that sense of familiarity that might ease a lot of, the disconcertedness potentially of going into somewhere that you may or may not be familiar with before, but that because that sense is there, you feel okay. But then also at the same time, looking at all of like just the physical structure of this building, and it's looking like there's a lot of health hazards here.
It does, and I wonder about these hanging chandelier wooden lights. I've never seen anything like it.
That's, I mean,
I've,
they're
I don't
not
even
like
know.
fantastic looking, but they're not like ugly either. I
I,
actually kind of like them in a way.
well,
I
I'm
think when
just
styled
curious.
right, they could be fine.
Oh, I know. I'm just curious. I'm like, I've never seen that before. Uh,
Yeah.
oh, look, somebody else agrees in the comments. Eli, cultural arts.
Oh, look.
See,
Yeah.
see if that people want that. Okay. Some people say lead and asbestos. I can't imagine how much of it is there. Oh yeah,
Right.
they love the lamps. See, it's weird. The comments are where the good stuff is at, y'all. Oh my god. Exactly. Oh man. Yeah, people are saying a lot of good things about this place that I definitely would say, like, is there asbestos? Is there lead paint here? Is there mercury? Like, what is going on here? But I would say we have both agreed that we would definitely book it for a night here. I
Yeah.
definitely would. I think this would be a fantastic place to have a paranormal investigation. I could see having a lot of fun here.
Oh yeah. Like the energy does not feel bad. Like it feels like it would be, I wouldn't say welcoming either, but I would say it feels,
Interactive.
yeah, it feels like you would have a lot of really good information come through, but also at the same time, you wouldn't be chased off the grounds either. So that
I don't
that's
think so.
that's kind
I'm
of where
just
I feel about that.
fascinated. Yeah, I'm highly fascinated by this listing on here. All right, you want to do another one? One more?
Oh yeah, let's do another one.
One more for the road. Okay. Share this. I picked this one out just for you, Eli.
Ooh.
We're in Iowa now.
Okay.
Muscatine, Iowa. It has a treasure trove of built-ins. Okay, so we are looking at a two-story, all white brick-ish house built in 1850. I don't know what this was built with. In the West Hill Historic District and sits on the corner next to 4th Street Park. Okay. I right away I look at this house and I'm going, oh, oh
Yeah,
dear.
this is not inviting whatsoever.
It's not a very inviting house, and it's very much a house of like, uh, not who died in here, but how many people died in here.
It kind of feels like that there was okay, you want me to tell you my honest to God thoughts on this?
Yes, this is what we're here
I
for.
I really feel like there was a family here of at least 7 people, if not more. There's a lot of energy. Like there's just so many people's energy here. I do not like the amount because here's the thing. As much of an extrovert that I kind of like I can appear to be as because I seem to know a whole bunch of people from all different kinds of walks of life. I've just, Sagittarius. But this is making me feel very overstimulated, and I don't like that.
Yep, I felt a lot of people in here. Look at this front four-way. I mean, the woodwork is immaculate. The wood
Oh,
floors,
yeah, it's
that's
gorgeous. But
gorgeous.
it feels like an office building versus a house
No,
because of just the
yeah,
amount of people.
It could be, but look at the mail slot. Notice that all the way down at the
That's kind of
bottom.
cool.
Yeah, left hand corner, because that's where the mail used to come in at. On here, I get very headachy, very dizzy looking at this place. I feel a lot of chaos went on here. Like, it never a quiet moment. Oh,
Okay,
okay.
okay. Before you say anything, I actually kind of like this wallpaper.
I wasn't going to say anything about the wallpaper. I mean, you can have your roses, but I fall in love with built-in shelving.
Oh, I do like that too. That's really cool.
See, anybody who builds me like a corner Cheerio apothecary style cabinet, like, I'm your friend. It still is worrisome in here, even though there are objects that are tempting me with, glamour magic. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
still looking at this and I'm going, I really don't know about all of this. It feels um yeah, the word just crowded and
yeah.
going downhill real fast.
Like when you just move to this picture that we're currently on in like of the foyer entryway thing, like all I see is just a whole bunch of kids clawing around all of those pillars. I'm like, that is just too much, too many people. Like I feel like I need to sit down.
Sit down, you're making me nervous, right?
Yes.
Oh my god. It's got a nice fireplace. I will say that. I don't know what this brown stuff is on the wall. It looked like somebody tried to tear wallpaper off and that's old glue, but it doesn't look like glue. It looks like something else that rhymes with glue. Um
Oh,
it's yeah. I I'm having a hard time in. Oh my god, Eli.
that's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous, and who wrecked that?
I know. That actually hurts my soul. That reminds me of like those like Facebook reels that I see of people, being like, how much force does it take to break my brand new flute? I'm like, no, it's a flute. You can still play it. That's kind of like the energy it's just giving me.
The built-in shelving cabinets with that glorious, very patterned windows, window frame, window. Mercury is so going into retrograde because my words are getting all jumbled.
Well, okay, it's not just you. Today has been the theme for today too for me. So don't feel bad.
It definitely has, but this, oh dear.
Ooh, I don't like that. I don't like
No,
that
I
at
don't like
all.
this at all. That is gross.
That is nasty,
That
nasty. I tell you.
And somebody was smoking, you can tell, because they're all the
Oh
cabinets
yeah.
that are supposed to be white, they're yellow.
Oh, for sure. And honestly, like this is kind of giving me the vibe here. Like how um how in most homes typically or at places that feel like home, the pantry doesn't just have food. There's also like some sort of like added home elements to it, like whether it be like certain containers or like a certain way
Yeah.
that things are organized. Here, this feels like the back aisle at Walmart.
Yeah. This
Like that's the best way I can describe this.
I would take this and I would polish those cabinets up and I would paint them a very gorgeous, like deep, either like green and blue or something. I don't know. I would keep the cabinets, but this looks like a mess. I'm
Yeah.
not like, oh,
I just feel like there's mold all in that room. I'm like, I don't even see it, but I'm sure it's there.
it feels like I'm being watched all the time in this house too.
This room's interesting though.
The pink is kind of soothing. It looks like Pepto Bismol.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, is this? We should call this the laxative room.
Oh my god. That is an interesting space. Out of all the spaces in this house, this actually feels like the calmest, and it's probably because of the windows strategically placed in the color on
And then
those
also look
walls.
at the crown molding.
I did. I was like,
Yeah,
wow, everybody wants that crown molding on there. Oh, there's your wallpaper.
yeah. I love that wallpaper. It is
Look,
so cool looking.
look at the walk-in closet even has it. I
Yeah.
would not I don't know if I want to spend a night in this house. I don't know. I wouldn't be scared to, but I would be more like, oh God, how much energy is this going to take from me?
I feel like this was definitely an older lady's room.
Oh God, yeah. This this would make me nauseous. It would just make me nauseous having to be in this room.
Like all I okay, like all I keep seeing in this is just this. I just keep seeing like this old lady taking out her dentures in this room. Like I don't know. It feels calm. It feels welcoming. It doesn't feel like I'm being chased out, but it also doesn't feel like it's mine either.
No,
Like I'm not supposed to be there.
yeah, it's I can't
Yeah.
get beyond the wallpaper in that room. I just wait a minute. I think that's a little what the same room? Might be the same room. Nope. This is the end of the line. No more photos. No more
I don't
photos
know. I kind of want to. I
of
feel like
it.
there's a whole lot more that they didn't show us.
There usually is to these listings, but it is what it is. I'm not in charge of what goes up, and they have to deal with whatever the real estate agent sends them.
Oh,
I
that is true.
would
Yeah.
definitely say I would I'm not I don't want to stay here for a night. I'm gonna book it out of there. It's icky in here.
Yeah. I would take the schoolhouse any day.
Yeah, I'm like I'm gonna go. I want to go to the schoolhouse. I would prefer that
Oh,
than
for sure.
anything else. Yes. Well, this has been an awesome time. So tell everybody where they can find you. How can they
So
connect with you?
yeah, I have been shifting some things around. So, as I had kind of, dropped as a little Easter egg earlier in the podcast, I have um, taken last year, 2025, as my big experiment year. I just kind of did everything that I possibly could to see what I liked, what I didn't like, what I wanted to stick with, what I didn't. And so this year, I actually have kind of narrowed down where you can find me into three main sources. And so you can check me out in my Patreon, which is just Eli Gomez or Starseek Astrology. Both of those are in definitely titles of the Patreon. So you search, it'll be one of the other, it'll be there. Um, and then there is also my TikTok account, which is where you can find all of my astrology content
Yeah.
and also some potential other just like fun little things that I do. Now, if you want to kind of keep up with me on more of like just kind of hey, what's going on in this, college student astrologer's personal life, you can go find me on Instagram. I do have a public Instagram account, but I don't really post much astrology stuff on there. That's mainly just more like, hey, you can kind of check in, see what I'm doing every day, kind of like take, here's like a day in the life of someone who does astrology and um does college and also works and does all the things, and you can find me over there if that's something you're interested in. um so yeah, that's going to be the three main places that you'll be able to find me. I also have the podcast In the Stars with Eli Gomez.
Yeah.
I experimented with a bunch of different formats last year, and I tried doing it. I originally started as just like a little mini series podcast about, hey, here's why I got into astrology, here's what it is. And then I kind of really got into it. And then I started having a lot more guests. And then I kind of, played around with the idea of turning it into like a little round table thing. And then I kind of went back to having a lot more guests. And then I just kind of did it kind of a solo thing for a little bit too. And so I experimented a lot with what I wanted that to turn out to be. However, I am starting a season two that's going to start
Yeah.
around the first week of March, and this season's going to be quite different. It's going to have the same feel, the same look as season one. However, season two is going to be more intimate and personal versus me talking about astrology and spirit and all the things with all the guests. So it's going to have a little bit more of an intimate feel versus season 1. So I'm really excited about that. I have a
Yeah.
couple of pre-planned episodes out there, and Tracy, you're a friend of the podcast, and
I
you'll
am.
definitely be on it too. So I will say that if that is something you're interested in, go ahead and check out season 1 while it's still up, because I will actually be archiving those episodes into the Patreon once season 2 starts up. So I'll keep the gems. I'll keep some of the really good gems up,
Yeah.
but because I'm wanting to go into a slightly different direction, still doing astrology, still doing interviews and things of that nature, just kind of turning it into a different format. And I kind of want to keep a consistent, solid brand story, if that makes sense. So
Yep.
that's my places you can find me.
And we are going to go and record a patron only podcast with Eli. So if you're a part of my Patreon on Haunted Road Trip Show, you're going to get the juicy, juicy interview, the non public interview. So join me over there. And in the meantime, remember, none of this can happen without y'all. Thank you so much for listening every single episode. Follow Eli, find me on Patreon, and y'all just stay out there and stay spookalicious, okay?
Oh, absolutely. Have a great day, y'all.
That's it for today's journey into the unknown. Thank you for listening, and thank you to my Patreon members for their support and all they do for this show. And if you're dying to see these haunted road trips in action, you can also watch Haunted Road Trip Show on Binge TV, where paranormal history is dying to be seen and heard. Until next time, stay weird, y'all. Real weird.